Good morning. It is December 6th. This is week 38 since our COVID shutdown. If you're keeping track, it's day 267. And this is the Kriya for cleansing the body and disease prevention. It's a pretty straightforward Kriya. There's a lot of shoulder work, some core work, only long, deep breathing. There's no special pranayamas today. So to really maximize the Kriya, I really urge you to go deep with your breath on your inhale and exhales, all through your nose, of course. Since there's not a more intense pranayama that's part of the Kriya, you'll do your pranayama work through just long, deep breathing. So let's sit up tall, immediately lengthening the spine. I get that sense of rooting with my hips. My pelvic floor is rooting to the mat. And then I'm rising up with my spine. Imagine there's a string pulling the top of your head up to the ceiling, lifting the heart that pulls the back of the head over the lumbar spine, creates a really terrific spinal alignment. Quickly reviewing our acronym BEST, the 5 elements of mindfulness, breath, of course, connecting with your breath. Part of the mindfulness practice is being conscious of the emotional state and how that shifts, how it fluctuates. Sensations of the body, they change. Doing a check-in as you start your practice. How do you feel this morning, or whenever you're tuning in at some later date? Any sounds that are in your practice, part of your space, just welcome them in, make them part of your practice. What we resist persists, so it's an instructive tool to just accept the sound. And finally, our thoughts, our ever-present thoughts. One of the Yoga Sutras is Yoga Chitta Vritti Naroda. In Sanskrit translates, yoga is the quieting of the fluctuations of the mind. Yoga Chitta Vritti Naroda. Yoga is the quieting of the fluctuations of the mind. Bring your hands to prayer position, Anjali Mudra. For our Adi mantra, the Om Namo Guru Dev Namo, I'm honoring that divine creative space inside of me, my highest self. I chanted a second time for everyone in the virtual space, and I chanted a third time for the greater world. Big inhale, exhales through the nose 3 times. Adi mantra. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Open your eyes. We'll do a shorter warm up this morning. So I'm just going to try to open my shoulders up first. Maybe take the legs wide and put the hands on the mat, palms face down, fingers spread wide, really opening up the shoulders, opening up the legs. We're going to go right into some shoulder activity here. So I'm just trying to open up the heart chakra, Maybe look up to the ceiling, opening up the throat chakra. Coming to a Supta Baddha Konasana, letting the hips fall open. Hand to the left knee, tenting the right fingers on the mat behind me. Coming around, I've never done this in Supta Baddha Konasana. It feels a little bit different. Let's bring the feet into an easy pose. Take the right hand over. The left hand is down on the mat. You're just stretching open these intercostals. Maybe sliding the hand down, trying to keep the pelvis on the mat. Switch sides. Sliding that right palm down the mat, away from you, opening up the intercostals on the left. I'm going to grab my hands, Venus Mudra. Fingers are all engaged. Maybe the fingers are touching the mat, and I'm opening up the shoulders, really breathing deeply. Bring the arms overhead. Palms come together. Anjali Mudra, prayer pose over your head, if that's available to you. And we'll slope the arms down. We'll begin the Kriya. This mudra is just a middle finger. It's kind of a strange mudra. My fingers are drawn in. My thumbs are over my index finger. This is referred to, middle finger, as the Saturn finger. So my thumb is over my index finger. My ring finger, pinky are pulled into my palm. Middle finger extending. Now for 3 minutes, let me set my timer. We're going to do backward circles. The first minute and a half seem fairly easy. It's long, deep breathing. But by that third minute, it's almost like ego eradicator. You begin to feel it. Try to keep the pelvis relaxed. It's just a stabilizing force, but no need to grip. The less gripping, maybe it will keep you from getting weary. You're isolating the movement in the shoulders. This exercise is supposed to stimulate calmness. You can close your eyes and practice from the inside out. We're coming up on 90 seconds, so we're halfway there. Starting to feel like ego eradicator. The ego mind begins to speak. Okay, we're moving into the last minute. You're building endurance, you're building strength, pumping some lymph. The lymph is in the armpit. As we know, the lymph doesn't move on its own. It needs to be pumped. So you're moving that lymph, part of the endocrine system, creating health, wellness, well-being. Helping the immune system. Only 30 more seconds. You're doing great. Such focus. You'll get a rest for 30 seconds. A minute. We'll rest for a minute and then we'll do One more minute at a faster pace. Last 10 seconds. Five seconds. And stretch the arms. Take the palms up to the ceiling. Let's squeeze the bandhas. Big inhale. Hold the breath unless you're on moon menstrual cycle, then long, deep breathing. Just hold the breath. Pull the navel towards the spine, squeezing that root chakra, Mool Bandh, the energy lock at the root chakra. And release. Place the hands, palms down on your thighs, a closed circuit. Observing physical state, mental state, emotional state. Monitoring your breath, witnessing your breath. Okay, extend the hands back out. Mudra, Saturn finger, middle finger extends. Other fingers pulled into the palm. 1 minute, faster rotation, counterclockwise, backward circles. Just 1 minute, so give it your all. Great form, everyone. Halfway there. Big inhale, point the fingers, squeeze the bandhas. Let's hold the breath. Creating that hypoxia to the brain, creating mental clarity, and release. Just let the hands come down to the knees, observe, close the eyes. Interlace the fingers, they go behind the neck. The elbows are wide, so I try to keep my elbows as wide open as I can. This is a modified Sufi grind, meaning it's counterclockwise and it's a big motion. I inhale as I come forward. I exhale as I lean back. The hips have become a stable grounding force and a mobilizing force because of the movement. Nice lubrication for the hips. Great lubrication for the lower lumbar spine. We're improving digestion and elimination. Try to use as much lung capacity as you have available to you. So I know you're moving, it makes it a little bit more challenging, but try to make big inhales through the nose as you come forward, big exhales through the nose as you lean back. Halfway there. Last 30 seconds. Make it a moving meditation. And coming back to center, just come back to your seated easy pose. We're moving into a balancing of the hemispheres of the brain and a strengthening of the aura. We have this energy field that surrounds the body, our 8th chakra. The mudra, just thumb comes into the finger pad of the baby finger. Mercury represents Mercury. I'm at 60 degrees on this lateral bend. So inhale, then exhale to 60. It's kind of challenging to try to get that perfect lateral bend. Inhaling one side, exhaling the other. Good job. Everybody's got a nice 60-degree line going. This one seems easy, but by 2 minutes, it's getting harder. Ego mind begins to talk. Let's go 30 more seconds. And bring the arms to the knees, palms down. Just observe, let your breath equalize, harmonize. If you're following along with the video at a later date and you have printed out the Kriyas that are attached, I'm going to move the Camel Pose, since it's the peak pose, the Guru Pranam, to later in the Kriya. So we're jumping ahead now, and we're going to go to spine twists with the arms straight. So the hands come out again, thumbs are up, and then we're just doing spinal twists, inhaling left, exhaling right. Start off gently. Make the way, pave the way for the spine. Then when it feels open and lubricated, maybe you can twist a little bit deeper, but it's not a contest, remember. This Kriya, this sequence, this pose, this asana is really working the shoulders. The magnetic field, because you're moving this big energetic field around your body, you're moving through it. And let's bring our hands down to our knees, just observe. Equalize the breath. We're going to come onto our knees now in a rock pose. Vajrasana, thunderbolt pose. I like to put a blanket on top of my heels. Gives my buttocks something a little softer to sit on. My hands are just resting on my knees. These are called naval pumps. We've only done these once before. So it's just with a full inhale, you're just going to pump your navel, draw your navel towards the spine while you're suspending your breath. You can probably get 20 or 25 pumps. You can just follow me, or you can do it on your own. Then on the exhale, after you've exhaled the breath, you do about 5 pumps as well. I feel it in my spine. I actually hear my spine making some sounds. So let's take a big inhale, suspend the breath, and then pump the navel, pull the navel towards the spine. Then exhale. 2 or 3 grounding breaths through the nose. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. Exhale all the breath out. Then 5 pumps. Inhale. And hold. And more pumping. You're working the navel point energy, balancing the sex organs. Any of this lower pumping works with digestion, elimination. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale, then the 5 pumps on an empty diaphragm. Inhale. Exhale. One last round. Inhale. And pump. Hold the breath. You might get a little lightheaded. Ease off if you do. Exhale at that point and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now we'll try it on the empty diaphragm. Inhale, exhale, and then pump. And normal breathing now. A lot of work for the core, which helps the lumbar spine as well. Remember, Harvey Deutsch calls this lumbar area no man's land because there are no bones stabilizing the lumbar spine. It's all done with muscles and ligaments. Now we're going to do a Sufi grind in rock pose. Let's do 2 minutes clockwise, and then we'll do 2 minutes counterclockwise. So remember the Sufi grind. It's like a cat-cow. You're in the cat pose coming forward, extending the belly. The cat pose, you're rounding the spine in kyphosis. Rounded spine like the scaredy cat. The cow dropping its belly, coming forward. So just think cat-cow in rock pose. Really good for lubricating the hips. Close your eyes, stay connected to your breath, and you just move it into a moving meditation. The mind has quite a bit to think about here to move you through cat-cow while you're Sufi grinding. Come back to center, ground yourself. Now 2 minutes in the opposite direction, counterclockwise. Again, we're working with digestion, elimination, and balancing sex organs. Last minute. Almost every part of the body is really involved with these. The shoulders, my elbows. Cervical spine is not too involved. Fifteen more seconds. Really moving the spine, really limbering it up. And we've done our 4 minutes. So you can stay in rock pose here. If it's creating discomfort for you, you can move to an easy pose. But now we're going to do our punching. So I draw my fists back. I put my thumb inside my hand so my fingers are around my thumb. And it's inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Really go for it. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. All the breath is through the nose. Consciously try to purge any emotions or any negative energy that doesn't serve you. You're also releasing toxins, anything the physical body doesn't need. You're just punching it out. Good focus, everyone. One more minute. Inhale, pull the fists back to the chest. Hold the breath, suspend the breath, squeeze the bandhas. Heart automatically lifts. Chin is already dropped because you pulled your fists back. Hold the breath, squeezing bandhas, and release. Come on to all fours. We're going to work on a little balance now and another seesaw arm exercise, but let's kick out the legs. You've been sitting for a long time. Maybe do some rounds of the ankles, both directions. Then let's come down onto our forearms and just step back onto the tops of our toes. Curl your toes under, I'm sorry. So when you draw the heels back towards the floor, it keeps your butt from coming up into the air. So you have a nice low plank on your forearms. So it's called forearm plank. Really stretching out the legs here, working on your core. Then drop the knees. Let's push back to a downward facing dog for just a few moments. Then walk the hands back to the feet in your deep forward fold, Uttanasana. Just let yourself invert. Just hanging. A lot of shoulder work, so let the shoulders just relax. Tuck the chin into that jugular notch between the clavicles, collarbones. I'm grabbing my ankles. Then I'm really feeling my legs with my palms, sliding up that tibia bone, the big bone in the leg. Fibula, smaller one on the side. Feeling my adductors on the inside of my thigh, my abductors on the outside, bringing my hands to this gluteus medius, this nice big muscle on the hip that holds my hip in place. My feet are about hip width distance apart. I'm standing in my Tadasana, my mountain pose. Review the feet, feel the heel bone, the calcaneus bone, the inverted tripod. Then I feel my big toe, the metatarsal bones behind the big toe on the mound, the ball of the foot. Feel the baby toe metatarsals. Feel that triangle, put the toes down, maybe lift the toes, be conscious of your arch. Put the toes down, maybe you look down and see space between the toes. You're grounded, really grounded. Take the hands to the waist, kickstand. So I take my arch of my right foot and I wrap it around my left ankle. My toes are curled under of that right foot. So it's like a kickstand. Maybe I take my arms out to the T, palms up. Maybe you can close your eyes for a moment or two. Feel your balance. Basically, you're on one leg and the toes of the right foot balancing on the left foot. Try to keep the eyes closed for a moment. Maybe you feel strong enough, if you bring your hands to prayer, that you can slide it up to your calf, not the knee, just the calf. When I see these TV advertisements, there's so much yoga in TV, and I see people in improper positions that are dangerous. It drives me nuts. They'll show people with pushing right on their knee in tree, which is so improper because it's hard on the knee. You don't want to be pushing on it. The foot is either below the knee or above the knee for tree pose, Vrksasana. Keep breathing into it. Working on your balance. Your hands can be anywhere. They can be at the side in prayer. They can be over your head. And release, shake it out. Let's work with the right side. So I really ground that right foot. Think of your tripod, your stabilizing force, grounding, rooting into the earth. I step on the toes of my left foot. I kickstand. I just wrap them around my right ankle, my instep, that is. So this, you can stay here if you want. Close your eyes. You get balance work just here. It's not easy to just close your eyes and stand on one leg, basically. If you want to grow it, then come to the safe position of tree. Just the instep, just resting, pushing against the calf. Your gaze is straight ahead. You'll do a better job looking straight ahead than down at your screen. I have to watch you, so it makes it harder. I don't have to watch you, I want to watch you. So it makes it harder to do balance poses looking down. It's better looking straight ahead. And let's shake it out. Let's go on with the Kriya. I just added that to get some balance work in for us. These are the Seesaw Arms. So the Seesaw Arms are very similar to what we were already doing. So we're going to do this 60-degree thing again. So inhale, exhale. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. I'm going to keep my arms with my breath. I can't go too fast. See if you can keep the movement in the arms and the shoulders and less body. And close the eyes. Do you sense some balance in the hemispheres of the brain, left brain, right brain, with this neuromuscular activity? Strongly connecting to your breath. Just one more minute. I feel my shoulders getting weary. And let's float the arms down to the side. Big toes touch. Close the eyes. Feel your Tadasana, the body, mind, spirit integration. Open the eyes, come down onto your knees for the, we're going to do the Guru Pranam, the Camel Pose. So I'm up on my knees, standing on my knees. I curl my toes under. See, that brings my heels closer. When we do these back bends, it's really for the hamstrings and the quads. It's not so much about the back, although we do breathe into the backside of the lungs in a deeper way. So just try leaning back first, if that's okay on your knees. You're just leaning back. Works the hamstrings. Maybe the middle finger will touch the heel. And that can be enough, just right there. Maybe you can look up closer to looking at the ceiling, if that's okay on your neck. It's quite a back bend on the neck, and we try to be cautious of these severe neck position. It's called neck extension. Neck flexion, where the chin comes to the sternum, the neck is really comfortable doing that. It's not as comfortable with this extension. If you can reach back, do so. Just keep breathing into it long and deeply. You're in your camel pose. Long, deep breathing. Everybody looks great. And let's come out of it. That was the peak pose. Now we get to do the wonderful life nerve stretches. I love doing these interviews. I find out what people's favorite poses are. And then it's kind of like a drink order. Every time we get to that pose, I remember that it's that person's favorite pose. So the heel comes into the groin. I dorsiflex my foot. Arms come up. I'm looking straight ahead, really lengthening the spine. Inhale, exhale. I turn towards that extended leg. Then I bring the arms forward, bending the knee, trying to get my hands to my feet or ankle. Remember, it's just long, deep breathing here for 2 minutes. This allows the fascia to release. Muscles are under our volitional control, so you can be asking the muscles to relax. And as they do, maybe the knee, maybe the leg extends. The goal is to get the forehead closer and closer to the knee. It's organic, it comes in its own time. One day you'll be practicing and you go, wow, my forehead just touched my knee. Oh my gosh. After you're here, we've been here a minute now, you may feel the lumbar spine beginning to release. When we open back up again, if you like these kinds of poses, you would probably really enjoy a yin class, Y-I-N, yin. Usually in an hour, there's only 4 or 5 poses and lots of props are used. You just lengthen, let the fascia release in each one of these poses for several minutes. It's very restorative too. Coming up on 2 minutes, so you're probably feeling more and more stretching going on. Now I like to grab my legs, be in touch with my body, let the palms come up that big tibia bone, crossing the knee, feeling the abductors and the adductors as you come up the outside of your thigh. Then switching your legs out, bringing that heel right into the groin, flexing that left foot, making my spine tall, looking straight ahead, then turning to the left and coming down for 2 minutes on this other side. Such a great pose. Stay connected to your breath. This side may release more quickly because the back has already been stretched on the 2 minutes on that first side. One more minute. Just breathe deeply, surrender. Ask the muscles to release. Just 30 more seconds, just one more pose in the Kriya, the bowing yoga mudra. And slowly come up, feeling the legs coming up. Conscious of these 2 big outside muscles of the thigh, the abductor and the adductor. Coming around onto your knees. So this is a little different. We do yoga mudra fairly often. That's the one where we interlace the fingers behind us. It's a big shoulder opener and we come down and draw the arms up. This one though, we actually move in it. So this is my inhale, exhale coming down, arms coming up. Then I'm bringing the hands back to the mat. I'm sitting up tall on my inhale, then exhaling down again. We do this for 2 minutes. Make it a moving meditation. I'll observe now. Keep going. Perfect positions, everyone. You're opening up the heart chakra, the throat chakra with the arms pulled back like that, opening up shoulders. You're conscious of your spiritual eye, your sixth sense, your sixth chakra, as the forehead comes to the blanket, the block, or the mat. A few more seconds. And come up. Let's put the hands just right on the knees. So you're sitting in rock pose. Before Shavasana, just sitting still, connecting body, mind, spirit. Then move right into your Shavasana. You get 8 minutes. We'll be finished by 10:20 this morning. Let the autonomic nervous system take over. Takes care of your breath. All the energy from the practice. The muscle memory remembers. We've talked about the placebo effect. The body, mind moves into that place of healing. so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Begin to breathe together. Big inhale through the nose, exhale, audible sigh. Ah. Inhaling through the nose, audible sighs through the nose. Ah, open the mouth, yes. And through the nose. Ah. Begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Make circles with the ankles and the wrists. Conscious of those intricate bones throughout the feet, the ankles, the wrists, the fingers, the hands. Such intricate part of our bodies, and the parts we don't honor or thank enough. Point the toes, take the arms over the head, interlace the fingers, stretch the spine out long, vertebrae and discs. Then maybe you move into rounding the spine. You can draw the knees towards the forehead towards the knees, compressing the spine in its smallest configuration. From there, spinal twists, spinal rolls. Melanie's actually massaging her sacrum, that small at the back, lower lumbar spine in little circles. Margaret's gone into taking her knees to one side, drawing the knees towards the chest so it's more of a fetal position. I woke up in the night in a fetal position. I find I'm on a real kick now, trying to be conscious of when I wake up, what kind of position my body's in. Melanie's gone to happy baby. Pablo's in happy baby. Margaret's in a Baddha Konasana. The soles of her feet are drawn in towards her midline. She's holding her hands. The cue is like a book. Maria is massaging the soles of her feet. Looks like Susie is in some kind of forward pigeon pose. And Mimi is stretching in a Paschimottanasana, where the legs are extended forward, reaching over, grabbing the feet. When you feel like you're stretched out, bring yourself back to the seated position. Bringing our hands to prayer position. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Roberta. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Pablo. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Mimi. Thank you, Ann Lindsay. And anyone who's joined us virtually today. We thank you in advance for joining our virtual practice. We close with the Longtime Sun. Please sing it with me. May the longtime sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on, guide your way on, guide your way on. Satnam, Satnam, Satnam. We bow to each other and we say Satnam.